Hi, everyone. I'm Sam Wilson Jr., and this is the Black Soul Music Experience Podcast, the music podcast on where I interview singers and musicians from genres of black music: gospel, jazz, blues, old school classic soul, old school hip hop, today's hip hop and R&B, Caribbean, Latin, Afrobeat, Afro-Latina, blue-eyed soul, disco, go-go, line dances, and the Lost 45s. So come with me as I take you on to a trip to the destination genre of black music right now on the Black Soul Music Experience Podcast. Legal Shield is a proud sponsor of the Black Soul Music Experience Podcast. Have you been involved in any types of accidents? Have you been a victim of identity theft? Have you been a victim of a computer fraud scam? Have you been in disputes with your tenants or landlords? If your loved one dies and they didn't write up a will for you or for your family, or you and your spouse are filing for divorce, or if you need help by opening up your small business, give Legal Shield a try. Visit their website at LegalShield.com and tell them you heard it here on the Black Soul Music Experience Podcast. Do it today. You'll be glad you did. I'm Sam Wilson Jr., creator and host of the Black Soul Music Experience Podcast. Now, before I bring up my special guest, I have good news to share with you. I have a new website, and you can look for it at the Black Soul Music Experience Podcast.com. That's right, folks. I have a new website called the Black Soul Music Experience Podcast.com. If you have a computer, laptop, notebook, or if you have a desktop computer and it has either MSN or AOL, make sure you type in the name of my podcast website, the Black Soul Music Experience Podcast.com. And if you have Google on your smartphone, make sure you type in the Black Soul Music Experience Podcast.com. That's where you find all of my news blogs, or whatever you want to call it. That's where I tell you what's going to be on the next episode for the entire month. So please check out my website and please pass it on. Make sure you check out my website, the Black Soul Music Experience Podcast.com. That's the Black Soul Music Experience Podcast.com. In the meantime, enjoy today's episode and thank you for your support. Welcome to the Black Soul Music Experience. I'm Sam Wilson Jr., and I have a special guest on my show. And on this episode of the Black Soul Music Experience, I'm continuing my topic on singers who crossed all genres of music. And this lady that I'm about to introduce was born in Sweetwater, Texas, now lives in Dallas, Texas. She is a singer, songwriter, and co-founder of the band Beyond Destiny, the band that sings all genres of music: rock, soul, country, R&B, and contemporary Christian music. While she's not performing, she is an A&R executive and booking agent at Instra Music Solutions. And you can check out all of their music right now available on iTunes, and check out their music videos also available right now on YouTube. Please help me welcome to the Black Soul Music Experience, ladies and gentlemen, my returning guest, Miss Nikki Heath. Hi, Nikki. How are you?
Great. How you doing, Samuel? Sam, thanks for having me. Samuel, Sam. Yeah,
Yes.
no, I'm excited to be here again.
Yes. Welcome back to my podcast. And now this is my first time seeing you face to face. I had you last season when we did a
Right.
Mother's Day episode, but you had a hard time getting on to the link. I said, I can't see. So I had to do it old school. So we had to did it
Right.
over
I
the
remember that.
phone, but I had the mic,
Yes.
over this phone, but I had to turn my chair around. So just in
Right.
case, I had to bring my reclining chair, my business
hmm
chair from the kitchen. So I said,
Right. Right.
just in case if she had a little problem, I would have to do it old school, and I had to bring the
Yes.
chair and put it right where the my bookcase is at. So I'll have to do it when
Hmm.
you see the door and everything.
Right.
So it's a pleasure to have you back, and it's a pleasure to see you for the first time face to face.
Thank you.
So, as always, America doesn't know who you are, the world doesn't know who you are. So, I'm very delighted to have you here on my show. So, let us begin, shall we?
All right.
Now, the last time we talked about your upbringing. So, let's get to know you a bit. Tell us about your origin story. Where were you born, and what type of environment that you grew up in?
Well, I was born in Sweetwater, Texas. It's West Texas. It's about 3.5 hours from Dallas, basically. And I grew up in a pretty talented, like as far as athletics, and I grew up around a lot of music too, as well. Growing up, everyone in my family were athletes. So when you're born, they put a ball in your hand. But I also got into music. I grew up singing in the church. I wrote my first song when I was 6. And so my parents were like, whoa. So they understood that I had a lot of abilities in a lot of different areas, not just athletics, but I also loved music. So I started with the piano originally, and then later on I picked up the guitar. Like I said, I wrote my first song when I was 6. Did some talent shows. When I got into college, I went to school at Texas Tech. Got a full ride basketball scholarship at Texas Tech, played basketball at Tech. Got to play with some amazing players, and I was part of some great teams at Tech, national championship team, as well as some other championship teams at Tech. While I was at Tech, I released my first solo album under under Nikki Heath, and it was a contemporary Christian gospel album, actually, my first album. And then when I later on after college, and I about 4 or 5 years after college, I formed Beyond Destiny, and then we released our first album as a band. Myself and well, 2 other guys and myself were the ones who created Beyond Destiny, and then that's how it kind of all got started. And we released our first album after that, and currently now my band we are getting ready to release our second album. And this group of new guys that I have now here in the DFW, they're pretty talented, and we're pretty excited about our new album that's going to be coming out. So music has
Okay.
always been. I grew up, like I said, I grew up singing in the church. I was in choir from elementary to middle school to high school. I was in show choir. I was in varsity choir. I was in solo and ensemble contest. The whole thing, the whole gambit of music. I've done it, and so it's always been really important to me.
Okay. Now, since you grew up in Sweetwater, Texas, was that the environment that you grew up in that made you the woman today?
Oh, most definitely. I My mom and my grandmother. My grandmother played a huge part in my life. My grandmother was like my mom, because you spend a lot of time at your grandmother's house when you come after school. Parents are working, so when we every time we get out of school, we'd go to my grandmother's house, and we'd go put our stuff up, and then we'd go play at the park, basketball, volleyball, running, track, whatever. We just go play, and so I've always loved sports from the time I was little bitty, and my grandmother was one of those people that she she was a great example of putting God first, and a great example of being an example of who God is supposed to be. That was my grandmother. So she was a huge influence on my life, and she always encouraged us to be the best that we could be in everything. And in my family, you can do what you want to do, but you also the goal is to be the best you can at whatever you choose to do.
Mm. Now, which high school did you go to?
Sweetwater High School. There was only one high school in my town.
Oh.
I know, right? Yeah, we were 4A. So 4A is because we have in Texas we have 4A. The biggest is 6A in Texas. So we
Mhm.
were a 4A school. So we were right in the middle. We weren't too small and we weren't too big. So we're about in the middle.
Oh, okay. Now, you mentioned Texas Tech. That's the college that
Yes,
you went
that's
to,
where I went to
correct?
school. Yes,
Okay. What was your major in college?
my major was actually I majored in exercise sports science and minored in English. So that I could so that I could coach and teach because I knew I was going to do something with athletics, but I still at the same time music was in there. So I got my exercise sports science, and then I got my minor in English, and then I got my master's in sports administration, just in case I want to be an athletic director down the road.
Mm, okay.
But I was always doing music the whole time.
Oh, okay. Now, since we did a Mother's Day episode
Mhm.
last year, I was looking at something on the web at the Voyage Dallas
Yes.
newspaper online, and
Hmm.
you talked about your grandmother,
Hmm.
Dorothy Ann Heath
Yes.
Walker. Okay.
Hmm.
Now, she was playing all types of music. Now, growing up, what type of music did you listen to?
That I listened to?
Mm-hmm.
Oh gosh, I loved it all. I loved everything from Michael Jackson to the Temptations, New Edition. I love some of the old stuff. Aretha Franklin, the Supremes. Huge, like I said, I was a huge Michael Jackson fan. Huge, loved Tracy Chapman, Tina Turner. So that I pretty much liked it all. I played it all, loved it, and then as far as I even like listened to country too. I loved the Judds and Dolly Parton. To me, they had the Judds. To me, they were country, but they had soul in their country. Because when you listen to them, even though they're country, you can hear the soul in their country, and you can tell that they're not just. I mean, their songs are just so amazing, and that I was really drawn to all kinds of music because of that. Because when I heard something, if it's good, it's good. To me, it doesn't matter what genre it is. 'Cause if it's a good song or if it's good music, then I listen to it.
Mm, okay. Well, same thing here, but I've never listened to country music because I've been dropped off by every babysitters. So
Oh,
while my late mother went to work and I
mm-hmm,
was dropped off by every babysitter, I was dropped off at my maternal grandparents' house
mm-hmm.
in the Bronx, New York. They live in those
Oh, okay.
buildings.
Mm-hmm.
And my late grandfather, he would play some Motown. You mentioned Diana Ross and the
Yes.
Supremes and Michael Jackson when he was on Motown back then.
Mm-hmm.
He started playing some Stax records which had Johnny Taylor and
Mm-hmm.
the Staple Singers, and of course
Nice.
the late Isaac Hayes. And when he
Yes.
pulled out that
Loved him.
LP called the Isaac Hayes Movement, I
Mm-hmm.
looked at that album cover and I said to myself, is he broiling in a swirling in a bowl of cream of wheat? Or on the back cover, it's like, is he cross-eyed or blind and everything? He was wearing that striped suit.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I opened up the album cover, I was like, oh, okay, that's his trademark, Shades and Chains. But
Right.
when I was listening to it, it was like four songs too long.
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of gotten exposed to it because it introduced me to some egoistic raps. So
Gotcha.
they were talking or rapping, and
Mm-hmm.
they got to the singing. I was saying to myself, stop with the talking, get to the singing.
Right.
So all of his songs were like either 10, 15 minutes long. And
Wow.
he's best known for doing remakes of some of the original songs done by
Mm-hmm.
original artists.
Right.
So on the Isaac Hayes movement, he did a remake of Jerry Butler's I Stand Accused. So he started rapping or talking and segue into the song 11 minutes. He
Wow.
also did the remake of the Beatles, Something,
Gotcha.
10
Okay.
minutes with the
Mm-hmm.
violin in the background.
Mm-hmm.
And he's best known for some others, including his first LP, Hot Buttered Soul, when they had Dionne Warwick's Walk On By. That
Nice.
was 12 minutes. And Glenn Campbell's By the Time I Get the Phoenix, that was
Wow.
18 minutes.
Wow.
I can tell you, he would take those songs and strip it and stretched it as far as
Mhm.
wide as the eye can see.
Good
Let me tell
grief.
you, he did it all by himself. But he'll be
Right.
best remembered for the Shaft soundtrack and the
Mhm.
movie. He did the
Right.
music score for that,
Right.
that won him an Oscar and a Grammy.
Mhm.
So that was his
That's pretty
thing.
amazing. Those are some
Yeah.
long songs. Whew.
And then I was dropped off at my maternal aunt's apartment, also in the Bronx. She would
Mhm.
be playing gospel music all day,
Nice.
whether it's
Nice.
James Cleveland or
Mhm.
Shirley
Lemon
Caesar
Caesar.
or the
Yes.
choirs or those
Mahalia Jackson.
quartets.
I love Mahalia Jackson.
Yes. So I was dropped off by everywhere and then to
Nice.
her friend's house They were playing some of those lost classics, and then another house, I was listening to Philadelphia International that had
Wow.
the OJs and
Nice.
Harold
The
Melvin and the
OJs.
Blue Notes and
Whew, the
Teddy
OJs.
Pendergrass and Billy Paul. Those.
Nice. Smokey
And I
Robinson.
would be back in the later 70s when me and mom moved back to the Bronx.
Hmm.
We was in the living in a two-family house on East 226th Street between Bronxwood and Barnes. There was a
Okay.
Jewish family that lived upstairs, and then after they
Hmm.
left, we had a new family that moved in. They were black, but they were not from America. That's when
Okay.
I found out their accent was different, and that's when I found
Right.
out they were from Jamaica, West
Okay.
Indies. So I was exposed to Caribbean music. So I was listening to
Nice.
Bob Marley and Gregory Isaacs and Byron Lee,
Gotcha.
those artists.
Nice.
So that was me growing up. I've been exposed to all kinds of music. And when I
I
went to
love it.
private school, I was listening to their music. And me and mom was listening to the other music stations,
Yes.
all that top 40 radio. We were listening to some Carly Simon,
Right.
Carole
Okay.
King, Sir
Uh-huh.
Elton John, everybody.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
So
Yes.
I was
The
exposed.
Carpenters. The
Yes, the
Carpenters. Yes.
Carpenters too.
They're amazing.
I was exposed to
That's
everything.
great. I love that.
Hmm. Now, when you were growing up and everything, was being a singer and a songwriter, was that your
Mhm.
calling?
Yes, it is. I think you hear the story of the like talents, the story of the parable of the talents in the Bible.
Hmm.
That's pretty much me. Like, I've I've been blessed in a lot of different ways, but I also I'm one of those people that I work hard, and I have a growth mindset, so I continue to learn. So I've always believed that my purpose is multifaceted, because I was coaching a teacher, and I know that that was part of my calling, but I also know that music was a part of my calling as well. And so now that I've gotten more of an opportunity to do more of my music full time and really get a chance to perform all over the U.S., it's I know it's one of the reasons that I'm here on this earth is definitely to do music for sure.
Hmm. Now, you've mentioned some of your singers. You mentioned Michael Jackson. You mentioned
Mhm.
Diana Ross. And what was some of the other favorite singers that you grew up listening to?
Tina Turner, Anita Baker, Alita Adams, Tony Braxton, Mariah Carey, Whitney Houston. Loved Patti LaBelle. To me, she has like one of the greatest, just insane voices.
Mhm.
Patti LaBelle, and then another one of our favorites would be Tracy Chapman.
And who were your musical influences that had inspired you to sing and play music?
I think for me, for sure, I remember the very first time I heard Tina Turner. And I can remember being in my grandmother's house, and my grandfather had put on, because they had a record player. He had put on Ike and Tina. It was an album. It was a vinyl of Ike and Tina Turner. He put
Mhm.
it on, and the first time I heard the song, it was Proud Mary, and then also her song Nutbush City Limit.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my goodness. I mean, just and then I got a chance to watch some videos of her performing, and it blew my mind. I was like, I want to do that. I want to do that. I want to do what Tina Turner does. I want to like do amazing music, inspire people, hit people right here in the heart, and just loved her. She's definitely like my number one. And when I saw her and heard her, immediately I knew I want to do. That's what I want to do. And
Mhm.
so for sure, she's one of my biggest influences. And then probably my second biggest is would definitely be Tracy Chapman, because the first time I heard some of her stuff, she's a guitar player. Like I'm a guitar player, and also like I said, I play piano too. But the acoustic sound that she did and the timbre and the tone of her voice was so different from anyone else. And I like the unique sound. I think that if you have your own distinctive sound, um, that can get you further in the music industry. Because when you hear Tina Turner, you know it's Tina. Like no
Mhm.
one, I mean, it's Tina. When you hear Tracy Chapman, you know it's Tracy Chapman. So
Mhm.
for sure, those two were my biggest influences.
Mhm. Now, how would you describe your sound?
Okay, so my manager says that I'm Americana. Americana basically means that I can do rock, soul, country, R&B, contemporary Christian gospel, all of it. But I say for me, when people hear me, most of the people, like if I say my sound would be probably, I would probably compare to like, it's kind of hard. I'd compare to like if you combine Tina Turner with Tracy Chapman and a little bit of Whitney Houston, that would be my sound. And I'm not saying because Whitney, you know, I'm not saying yes, I can sing. I have a pretty high range, up and down, low. I can sing, but my as far as like the sound itself, it's a mix. I think if someone heard me, they would say, okay, she knows she doesn't sound like Whitney, but then a lot of people compare me to like Tracy Chapman and Tina Turner when they hear my voice. But my sound, I think, is distinctive because I don't sound like anyone else.
Mhm.
I don't think I sound like anyone else. And so when people try to describe my sound, they say, okay, she does rock, she does soul, she does pop, she does R&B, she does contemporary Christian, she does gospel. I can sing anything and sing anywhere. And to me, that's my advantage, is that I can sing any style of music.
Mhm. Now, speaking of that, you are the co-founder of the band
Hmm.
Beyond Destiny,
Right.
and you, as a lead singer and musician, you and your band plays all genres of music: rock, soul, country,
Hmm.
R&B, and contemporary Christian music.
Yes.
How does your band and you have those singing voices? How does that your singing voice matches those genres?
Um, what I when I sing, because obviously the original stuff is out. When we do covers, I try to make them my own. So like, let's say some of my shows I've done Purple Rain by Prince. Well, when we do Purple Rain, it doesn't sound like everyone else's Purple Rain. It sounds like Beyond Destiny's Purple Rain. So we when we do something, we make it our own. So we say we beyond destiny. We say we beyond destinyfy it. That's what we call it. Beyond destiny finding it, which means that we make it our own. And then of course when we do our own stuff, it's our stuff and people love it. I can remember when we first started like playing shows and gigs, we would do covers and then we do some of our stuff. We'd throw in our original in there. We did, and then people were like, they when we finished our show, they said they actually liked our original stuff better than our covers. So to us, we were going in the right direction. We knew that we had a sound that people would like, and every show they would always say your original stuff is better than your covers, or you're like we love. They say you're amazing on your covers, is great, but they say your original stuff is phenomenal. We love to hear your original stuff. And as a singer songwriter, that's what you want to hear.
Mm. Now, speaking of that, I got a chance to check out your music videos on YouTube,
Hmm.
including I Have Felt That Way,
Yes.
These Arms, Love Only Love.
Hmm.
Please share with our audience on what those songs are all about.
Okay, so I have felt that way. It's actually one of our most popular songs. That's actually the first song we do in all of our sets. It currently has over 100,000 streams on Spotify. It was in the top 40 on the Texas music charts, but it is one of those songs that talks about how we are all connected. That we
Mhm.
at some point in our lives, uh, we as all humans have probably felt a certain way at some point. Whether that's like you feel down or you feel depressed, you feel happy, you feel hopeful, and that it basically is a song about never giving up on your dreams, never giving up on yourself. That you should always believe that it's going to get better, and that the light is stronger than the darkness, and it basically it's bringing everyone together and the fact saying that I have felt that way, but know that the darkness, the lows do not always stay low, and that that you can get out of the darkness and that the light is stronger. So it's very it's one of my uh what's one of my favorite songs that we do actually. And then the other song you talked about was Love Only Love, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Love Only Love was actually inspired by my grandmother. She they say that when you lose someone that you that they I've always believed that when you lose someone that the love that they have for you, that doesn't disappear. That love that they have for you actually stays with you. And it can take you through the hard times, the bad times. It can when you're down, it can pick you up. When you at your highest, it can remind you that they're with you, experiencing that joy and that happiness with you. So when my grandmother passed away, it helped to remind me of her that love only love can take your pain away. Love only love can is greater than anything else you will experience, and that it's important that that even though you lose those people, that the love that they have for you, it stays with you. So it's one of those songs that people usually when we perform it, they get really touched on it, and we've had multiple people cry on it because it just reminds them of maybe someone that they've lost, and that the love that they have for that person doesn't leave them.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And the other song, These Arms.
Oh, that was a cover. So it was so the it was by this band. So I did a cover of it because it went I hear the sound of your heart beating. And so it was a cover actually. And so
Mm-hmm.
it was one of my favorite covers by this band. And I was like, that'd be kind of cool to do. And so I decided to just record it and just do like a recording of it because I thought it had a cool sound and I liked it and I thought it'd be cool to put it on there. So that's why I did it. It's a pretty
Okay.
song actually.
Yes. Speaking of cover songs, I got a chance to check out the other videos that I
Hmm.
saw on YouTube. You did a cover song of Joy to the World by the Three Dog Night,
Hmm.
Proud Mary from Ike and Tina,
Yep.
and The Best by Tina Turner,
Yes.
and Grandpa Telling Me About the Good Old Days by the
Hmm.
Judds. What's
Yes.
it like doing those cover versions of those tunes?
Uh, it's pretty interesting because sometimes when we do different type of shows, sometimes we do shows where we may perform an hour, or sometimes we do shows where we're performing 3 hours. So when you're performing we take breaks obviously. So we'll perform an hour, take a 15-minute break, come back, play 45 minutes, take a 15-minute break, and then play 45 more minutes. So when you're playing for 3 hours, you better be doing some covers in there because one, you need to keep the people engaged. Two, when you're doing songs that people recognize, they start to sing with you, they get up and dance, they have fun, they have this great experience, and they also get to hear your original songs too, and they love those. So then you get a chance not only for them to follow you, and then they share your music with other people as well, but they also have fun because they're hearing songs that they recognize. So for us, we're always trying to do songs, not only our songs, but songs that we know that people will be like, start singing along with this. They'll hum, they'll get up, start dancing, they'll clap along. And so we like to have a lot of fun at our shows. And so we like to get the people involved.
Okay. Now, I mentioned in the intro you have some new music out. Will there be any other music that will be coming out this summer, or you'll be doing any tours during the summer and the months ahead before the year is out?
Yes, yes. So we like our May schedule is full, June is full, July is pretty much full, August is almost full, September is almost full. So we have a lot of shows coming up. So we have a new album that's going to be coming out this summer. We haven't set the specific date yet, but it will be this summer. We're going to have an album release show and everything for the whole album release show, and have this huge show where people can come listen. We're going to play our whole entire album that night. We're going to sell merch. We're going to sell all kind of different things so people can hear. And then people, if they want to hear our music, it'll be everywhere on all streaming platforms. But also too, our if they go to our website, Official Beyond Destiny, they can find our tour schedule is on there as well. It'll have the dates of where we will be, and we go all over Texas, and sometimes we end up in like Louisiana and other states as well. But they can find all of our tour dates on our website.
While you're not performing, you're an A&R executive and booking agent
Hmm.
at Instro Music Solutions. I
Yes.
almost got it wrong, but you're also a booking agent at
Yes.
Instro Music Solutions. Are
Yes.
you the founder of the production company, and how many years was it in existence, and what is the mission on what that company is about?
So, originally, well, how it all came about is that I got signed not too long. Well, I got signed to a management deal here in the DFW area, and so the owner of Instrument Solutions, well, once they signed me, then I formed a new band and we started working on some new stuff, and I started working with these new guys that I have in my band. Well, the owner of Instrument Solutions, he really initially was our manager for on myself and for my band. He was initially our manager, but he owns like 5 or 6 different businesses, so he got really busy. So he brought in Jessica Martinez Smith. She became our manager, and she has an agency called Shine Agency. She came in and they partnered up together so that she could manage myself and my band. Well, when they Instrument Solutions signed me, I have a lot of connections, and I also have uh, I know a lot of people in the music industry, a lot of people in the music scene. So I was booking shows just as fast as they were. So they were like, wait a minute, you know, she's really good at this, and so they hired me to help them book shows for other artists that were on their roster, and also was booking shows some for my band as well. But I helped them, and then I became an A&R executive because I was good at what I am good at creating relationships, and I'm really really good at booking shows and finding talent. I know talent when I hear it, so I'll help them find talent. And so they hired me once they realized that I could help their company find talent and also help them book other artists as well. So then after about 3 years or so, well, it's been around for like 6 years, but after about 3 years, 4 years, I became co-owner of Instrument Solutions. So
And yes. And how many artists do you have on the roster?
okay, so currently, because we just added a few, currently we have like 10. I think there's about 10 or 12 on the roster currently, and that's every genre. That's country, rap, R&B, soul, gospel. We just like I said, we have a couple of rappers on. We just added like a new rapper recently, and we just added a new R&B artist. So yeah, so we there's about 12 artists that are currently on our roster.
Okay. Now, here's a question that I always ask my guests: living or dead, which artist or group you wish you wanted to meet or to perform with?
Or perform with Michael Jackson, most definitely. To me, if you look at what he did, and you could tell he was anointed. I mean, he was so talented. Even at 11 years old, when they did that Smokey Robinson song, you know, and he's 11, and he
Yes.
sing. If you listen to his voice, it is insane that 11-year-old could sound that good on that kind of song. So 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 talented. And I think Michael Jackson to me was truly gifted, and he was truly anointed. And then the songs that he did, songs about bringing people together and helping people, and feeding the hungry and helping the poor, and looking into yourself and truly finding out who you are as a person and being a better person. To me, his songs and his message and the way he lived his life, to me, he was like one of the greatest to ever do it.
Mm, okay. Now, here on the Black Soul Music Experience, I always ask my guests who are the top 10 R&B black artists of all time. Now,
Oh,
since I have you, Nikki, we're going to do a little bit of different since we are doing an episode on our favorite singers who have crossed all genres, and that's what we're
okay,
going to do. We're going to be doing
okay.
the Black Soul Music Experience top 10 artists that crossed all genres. Now here's how it works. We do it like a top 10 countdown, like the
Okay,
show America's Top 10, hosted by the
right.
late Casey Kasem. We
Oh
start
yeah.
at the bottom five. So we figure
Okay.
out who are some of the best singers, but didn't get any recognition. In
Oh,
other words, they were on a record label that didn't give them much marketing
oh,
or promotion. When we
wow.
get to the top five, we'll find out who are some of the best artists that have crossed all genres. Did that artist have received so many songs that crossed over genres and their different voices? Did their songs receive the gold or platinum that sold over 1 million copies in print? Did that album have went gold or platinum or double platinum or triple platinum or today's diamond platinum? Did they
Mm,
had any of those top 10 hits that have crossed all genres and different nationalities?
okay.
Did that artist receive a Grammy Award or an American Music Award or a Soul
Okay.
Train Award or a BET Award or an MTV VMA or an ACM Academy of Country Music Award? Did
Oh,
that artist performed on American Bandstand or Soul Train or the
whoa.
Midnight Special or NBC
Okay.
Saturday Night Live or Solid Gold or Hee Haw, or did they have their music video aired, whether it
Okay.
be on BET or MTV or VH1 or CMT or some of the other music video
Okay.
shows across
Okay.
the country?
Okay. Okay.
Did that artist got inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Or
Woo.
did that artist had their own primetime special, whether it's on
Nice.
CBS or NBC or ABC? Or did they perform on PBS, whether it's great
Wow.
performances, or did they had their own special on PBS airing during Pledge Month? Or did
Okay.
they had their live concert special aired on HBO or Showtime? So
Okay.
while you're writing down your stuff, I'm going to start with mines of
Okay.
all the artists that have crossed all genres. I'm going to
Okay.
start with number 10, the late Kenny Rogers.
Oh
Kenny
yeah.
Rogers came on the scene back in 1971 with his group called First Edition. Now, he's
Okay.
best known for wearing shades and his beard. Now, the first time I've seen Kenny Rogers was having his own variety show called
Hmm.
Rolling on the River. And that was aired in syndication back in the
Okay.
early 70s. And it was sponsored by Noxema Skin Cream.
Okay.
So after when the band parted ways, Kenny Rogers changed his look. He went from pop to country. He got rid
Okay.
of the shades. He grew
Hmm.
his beard, turning gray. And he had some of his top 10 hits, including Lucille and The Gambler, and his number one hit, Lady, which
Yes.
was number one on Billboard's Hot 100 pop singles charts and also on the country singles charts. And in case you may not know, that song Lady was written by Lionel Richie. So we'll
Yes. Yes.
put
I knew
Kenny
that. I knew that.
Rogers at number 10.
Okay.
Number 9, I'm going to put it a tie with Pink coming
Oh,
out of Pennsylvania.
love Pink.
Now, when
Oh,
she came on the scene in the year 2000, she
yes.
had her debut LP called Caught in the Middle with her
Yep.
debut song called There You Go, acting
Yes. So
pitiful.
good.
And some of her other songs, including You Make Me Sick and Just as Many as a
Oh,
Few. And then by
okay.
2001, she crossed
Yep.
genres to the pop scene with her LP called Miss with a Z, Miss Understood,
Good.
with
Yep.
her top 10 hit, I'm coming out, so you better get this party started.
I'm coming
And
out. Yep.
then by 2003, she did the unthinkable. She went to rock with her
Yes.
LP called Try This. And she had two singles, including Trouble and If God Was a DJ. And I
Yes.
saw her performed on NBC Saturday Night Live. That was back on the first Saturday of December of 2003. And the guest host was the Reverend Al Sharpton.
Woo.
So we'll put Pink at number nine, and I tie that
Okay.
with Beyonce coming out
Okay.
of Houston, Texas,
Yes.
when she was with Destiny's Child, and then
Mm-hmm.
on solo, she did R&B, hip hop, and
Yep.
the unthinkable country song called
Yes.
Daddy's Lessons from her LP called Lemonade, which led her to
Yes.
her country album called Cowboy Carter. The
Yes.
album went to number one on
Mm-hmm.
Billboard's Top 200 Albums charts and number one on Billboard's Country Albums
Okay.
charts.
Okay.
She
Okay.
was nominated for 13 Grammy Awards for that album. She won two Grammys. One was for that country album, and the other one was the duet on that album
Mm-hmm.
that featured Miley Cyrus.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as I said earlier, I'm no big fan of country music.
Right.
When I was in the car with my late paternal grandfather, we had AM 1050 WHN in the
Right.
NYC. And I keep saying to myself, why are we listening to this station? We don't listen to country music. But
Right.
if I would have asked them, I didn't want to hurt his feelings. He would have said
Mm-hmm.
that country music was made by us black folks.
Yes.
So when I went to the Smithsonian's African American History Museum in
Mm-hmm.
DC on the top floor, he was right.
Yep.
There's the banjo
Yep.
and there's the fiddle.
Exactly.
So, and the only brother that I know in country music was the late Charlie Pride.
Right. Yes.
And
Yep.
that was that.
Charlie
And I
Pride. Yep.
didn't know there was some sisters in country music.
Oh yes.
So give a shout out to Maren Morris, and
Mm-hmm.
there was another singer that was in country, and that was Linda Martell.
I
And
know.
Entertainment Tonight was showing a clip from Hee Haw,
So.
and there she was, Linda Martell.
Yep.
So when Beyonce did the unthinkable, when Beyonce performed with the Dixie Chicks, now they're
Yes.
known as the Chicks. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know if that they performed on the CMA Awards or the
Mm-hmm.
American Music Awards, but there
Right.
was some backlash from the country music fans for
Yes.
saying, "Why is Beyonce doing country music with the Chicks? You should be back in your hip hop R&B world."
Yes.
But it was like she's giving us a little homework lesson that
Exactly. She
country
really
music was
did.
made by black folks.
Yeah, she did.
And
It was
and
amazing.
she did. And that song, Texas Hold'em, when the
Mm-hmm.
DJs was playing that song on Friday night, and I did a gig back in December of 2024 for the
Mm-hmm.
Toastmasters in Co-op City in the Bronx, New
Okay.
York. And the ladies came to me and said, "You got any line dances?" I said, "I do." But they don't want to hear the electric slide and they don't want to hear the Casper slide
Right.
either. They want some new line dances. And I told them, I
Exactly.
got Beyonce. Texas Hold'em. And she said, "All right, play that." And
Yeah.
I did. And they were doing that line dance I've never seen before. So
That's pretty
shout
cool.
out to Beyonce.
Yes.
She did R&B, hip hop, and country. So I put a tie with Beyonce and Pink at number
Okay.
nine. Number eight, I'm putting down Lionel Richie, former
Okay.
lead singer of the Commodores from its inception in
Okay.
1982. He had his first solo LP, self titled debut
Mm-hmm.
LP, Lionel Richie. But then in 1983, his second LP, Can't Slow Down, it was like a mixture of some different tunes. He
Yes.
did that song all night long, the little Caribbean flavor
Right.
in the mix.
That's
He
good.
did some R&B and he did a country song called Stuck on You. And
Yes.
that was the first time I heard it. It played at some of the black radio stations,
Mm-hmm.
the pop radio stations, and
Yes.
country music radio stations.
Good
So
stuff.
he did a little genres right there too. So we put Lionel Richie at number 8. Number 7, Darius Rucker. We know
Ah,
him. He's the lead singer
I
of
like
Hootie
this.
and the Blowfish.
Yes.
And then when he went on his own, he was
Mm-hmm.
playing different
Country.
genres. He was singing pop, alternative rock, and country.
Country. Yes.
And I was listening to a couple of his songs. So we'll put Darius Rucker at
Okay.
number 7.
7. Okay.
Number 6, I'm putting down the Material Girl, Madonna.
Madonna. Okay. Yes.
Yep, she had
Yep. She was
some
good.
different
Yep.
genres. She
She sure
sung
did.
pop, blue-eyed soul,
Yep.
disco dance, and
Mm-hmm.
electronica music. So she had dipped into some different
Yeah,
genres of
she sure
music. So we'll
has. She
put
sure has.
Madonna at
Okay.
number 6.
Okay.
Well, up to number 5. Number 5, I'm putting down the Eagles. They've been
Yes.
around for decades. They were
Yes. They.
known
Yep.
for
They
doing
sure did.
genres of music. They were
Okay.
singing pop, blue-eyed
Mm-hmm.
soul,
Rock.
folk,
Mm-hmm.
roots, and
Yep.
soft rock.
Okay.
So I love some of their love ballads. That's the one I love,
Mm-hmm.
including "I Can't Tell You Why" and
Mm-hmm.
"New Kid in Town." Those are the songs
Okay.
that
Okay.
I love.
Okay.
That really soulful. So I'll put the Eagles at
Mm-hmm.
number 5. Number 4, the Pointer Sisters. They
Yes.
came on the scene back in 1973 with their
Amazing.
self-titled debut LP on the ABC Blue Thumb label. They were singing jazz, they were singing soul.
Yes.
And then during the later 70s, they sung a country song called Fairy Tale
Mm-hmm.
that won them a Grammy Award for Best Country Female
Crazy.
Performance.
It's
And
crazy.
then during the end of the 70s into the 80s, they were singing pop, they were singing soft rock,
Mm-hmm.
they were doing the remake of Bruce Springsteen's Fire, and then some other tunes
Okay.
as well. So I'm putting the Pointer Sisters at
Okay.
number 4. Number 3, Chicago. They made their
Oh.
debut back in
Okay.
1969,
Okay. Okay.
and they were playing all genres of music. They would start
Mhm.
playing jazz, they played some blue-eyed soul,
Okay.
blues, R&B, disco, and then in the 80s they changed over to soft rock. So back then they were known as the Chicago Transit Authority. But,
Mm-hmm.
the real Chicago Transit Authority had filed a lawsuit against the group. So
Oh, okay.
they changed it down to just Chicago.
Chicago.
So I'll put Chicago
Good stuff.
at
Okay.
number 3.
Okay. I like that.
Number 2, Miss Linda Ronstadt. She
Oh,
came on the
she's on
scene
my
back
list.
in 1967. She
So
was the lead
good.
singer of the group The Stone
Yes.
Ponies.
So
And
good.
then she was singing all genres. She was
Yes.
singing pop. She was
Mm-hmm.
singing soft rock,
Yes.
soul,
Yep.
jazz, and even those American standards.
Yes.
And yes, she appeared on the stage, The Pirates of Penzance. She
Mm-hmm.
was listening to some country music. And
Yes.
yes, she did some Latin music too. And I didn't know
Mm-hmm.
that she
Mm-hmm.
was Mexican.
Yes.
And she
Yes.
did
She
an
is.
LP called Canciones de mi Padre,
Yeah. She's
and it
amazing.
won her a Grammy Award for Best Latin Recording. So we'll put Linda
Okay, Linda.
Ronstadt
Yes, Linda's
at
good.
number 2.
Okay.
And number 1, I put it a tie with Ray Charles. He has sung all genres.
Yes.
He's sung
He has.
soul,
Yes.
R&B,
Gospel.
jazz,
Yep.
blues, and
Mm-hmm.
country music.
Yes, he
He's
has.
best known for that LP, Ray Charles, Modern Sounds and Country
Yes.
Western Music, Volumes 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
Best known for his 2 hits, I Can't Stop Loving You and Well, You Don't Know Me. Those are his 2 hits. And later, he did
Mm-hmm.
uh, his rendition of America the Beautiful. I
Yes.
first heard that song for the very first time back in 1976
Mm-hmm.
when the nation was celebrating its bicentennial. So he did it his version of
Right.
America the
That's good.
Beautiful. And I was at a friend's house and they had the LP. I didn't know that that song came out at the end of the 60s. I only thought it was like a new song that came out in 1976 in
Right.
time for the nation's bicentennial. So he'll be best known for that. And I also tied it with Aretha Franklin, the Queen of
Whoo,
Soul.
yes.
Started
Yes.
out in the church,
Yes, she did.
born in Memphis,
Mm-hmm.
Tennessee,
Yep.
raised in Detroit, Michigan. I
Yes.
mentioned she sung gospel,
Mm-hmm.
jazz, soul,
Yep.
pop, and yes, we'll put opera in the category
Oh, yes,
because
she did.
when I
That's right.
saw her perform at the 1998 Grammy Awards on CBS at Radio
Mm-hmm.
City Music Hall, the
Yes.
unthinkable. Now, Luciano Pavarotti was supposed to
Mm-hmm.
perform, but he wasn't feeling well. So the producers had came to Aretha and said, "Can you do this?" And then Aretha said, "I'll give it a shot." So then when I saw her perform opera, I was like, whoa,
Yes.
she done it all. I mean, all of
Yes.
the audience was
She
singing,
was amazing.
bravo, bravo. And then some of the ladies were in tears when
She's
Aretha did
amazing.
opera.
She was
And I
amazing.
was watching VH1's 100 Greatest Moments
Mm-hmm.
of rock and roll appeared on television, and I
Right.
think that was at number 55. It was at the
Wow.
1998 Grammy Awards. It was at number 55,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, the unthinkable. So
Yeah,
we'll
that's
put
pretty amazing.
Aretha Franklin and Ray
Okay.
Charles, tie that to number one. But before I do that, I just want to do some honoraries before you
Yes.
come in with
Okay.
yours. I gotta put down Cool in the Gang.
Yes.
They were known for crossing all genres. They did jazz, funk, soul,
Mm-hmm.
disco, R&B, and pop. So we'll put Cool in the Gang
Okay.
on that honorary list. Earth, Wind, and Fire,
Mm-hmm.
founded by the late Maurice White. They had done
Yes.
soul, pop, disco, message music, and African music. They're known for that kalimba instrument, but you gotta use your thumbs to do
Mm-hmm.
that. So we gotta give a shout out to them. The late Roy Ayers, he did jazz, funk, and disco. And the late Donald Byrd, he
Okay.
too did some jazz, funk, disco, and R&B. So I had to put down those honoraries. So those are my top
Top
10
10.
artists that have crossed
Crossed over.
all
John.
genres.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
Nikki, do you
That's
have
it.
any of yours before we wrap
Yes.
it up?
Okay. So do they need to be different from yours, or can they be some of the same as yours?
It could be
This is
any.
my top 10, right?
Right.
Okay. Number 10. I would put um probably number 10 for me is Darius Rucker. Obviously, we talked about him already because he crossed
Mm-hmm.
over from Hootie and the Blowfish into country.
Mm-hmm.
Number 9 would be Gwen Stefani. She used to be with No Doubt. You know, they did the pop, sky punk,
Mm-hmm.
and then
Mm-hmm.
sky punk, and then she went to pop, and then she did a country song with her now husband, um, which was cool. And
Mm-hmm.
then next for me would probably be Post Malone. Post
Mm-hmm.
Malone used to do rap, pop, and now he's doing country.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a Texas boy. Well, he grew up originally in California, but he lived in Texas in Grapevine, so he's a Texas boy.
Oh.
And now he's doing country and um. What number am I on? Next would be Taylor Swift. Now
Mm-hmm.
a lot of obviously Taylor Swift is pretty big. And a lot of people like her. All kind of different people. Doesn't matter what ethnic group you are. Some they like Taylor Swift, but she successfully crossed over from country into pop like seamlessly. Though she did it, it wasn't. It did not. I mean, it was from country having all those number one albums, and then she crossed over into pop, and the album still stayed number one. That's actually really impressive when you think about it,
Mm-hmm.
because she's a phenomenal songwriter, obviously. Um, Aretha Franklin is my next one because she went from country, I mean from gospel into R&B, into soul, jazz, all that good stuff. I actually had Linda Ronstadt on mine as well because she did Latin music. I knew she did Latin, and then she did 80s, and then she did like country, folk, stuff like that. What number am I on? 10, 9, 8, 7. All right.
Yeah.
Next for me would be Dolly Parton because Dolly Parton, even though she's still majorly country because she's in the Country Music Hall of Fame and the whole thing. and she's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which is cool. She did country, but then she also did some pop, and then she's also done gospel, which is her gospel stuff is really cool.
Yeah,
Ray
cause
Charles.
and she'll be best known for a little rapping there too.
Oh yeah.
Cause country singers did some rapping, Dolly Parton and
Hmm.
Johnny Cash and
Yeah,
Jerry Reed.
that's true. You're right. Ray Charles. Oh, he's my. I think I'm at number two. Ray
Mhm.
Charles. Oh, and he did it seamlessly too. Because not only was he doing like his soul and then he went over to country, and then he was phenomenal. He's so talented, absolutely incredibly talented man. Um, and then probably no, my number one is Prince. He did funk, soul, pop. He even did he wrote a song for the Bangles. Just another manic Monday.
Hmm.
Pop, pure pop stuff. He also did, of course, he did all his funk stuff and his disco stuff, and he even did some new wave and stuff like that. So my number one is definitely Prince.
Mm, yes, and some of his songs didn't become hits.
Hmm.
Like for example, "Nothing Compares to You" wasn't a hit for him, but it became a
Right?
hit for the late Sinead O'Connor.
Yes.
And the same
Yes.
thing for "I Feel for You." That became a hit for him, but it became a hit for Shaka Khan.
Shaka Khan.
And
Right.
the other one, "Do Me Baby," that didn't become a hit for him, but it became a hit for Melissa
Right.
Morgan. So he'll be
Yeah.
best known for that. Because at
Mhm.
first, when I first heard those songs, that I thought that you know Prince
Right.
wrote the song, but I didn't know that he performed it, but didn't become hits for him. So all the
Hmm.
producers that say, "Yo, do some of his stuff," and say like, "I ain't doing some of Prince's stuff because most of the singles will look at Prince's songs. Some will be kind of like too risque,
Risque. Yes.
but then when they start singing it, it just let it flow, and the
Hmm.
rest becomes history. Now you know
Hmm.
why those songs that I just mentioned, became number one hits.
Hmm. Well,
Yes, so
and I think another one that would probably stick in there would be Patti LaBelle, because she
uh-huh.
started out with Lady of Marmalade and that, and then she did some gospel stuff. So I
Mhm.
think Patti LaBelle also she did it seamlessly as well.
Yes, but she'll be best remembered for her fashion and everything. When I first saw her
Yes.
performed on Motown Returns the Apollo on NBC back
Hmm.
in May of 1985, when she came on stage, I was like, what the heck is that? See, at first I thought it was, a little hat that she was wearing, but then
Hmm.
I looked at it again. I was like, that's a real hair? What design is that?
I
I
know.
was like, oh my goodness. She went
Yes.
outrageous stuff. And
Yes,
she'll
she
be
did.
best remembered for when she was doing gospel songs and she did that
Hmm.
special on PBS. She'd be throwing that shoe off
Yes.
and everything.
She
And
did
I got a
perfect.
chance to see Patti LaBelle back
Oh,
in
cool.
2002 at the Hampton
Hmm.
Jazz Festival. I went with my
Hmm.
church members
Nice.
and at the Hampton Coliseum in Hampton, Virginia. And I saw her on that Friday night. And, she didn't hook up that shoe because
Uh-huh.
I was like dressing up as, and let me get that shoe. Give me that shoe.
That's funny.
So, yeah.
I got it. I got
So,
a chance to. I've got a chance. I've got a chance to see Pink in concert. Phenomenal, insane. Like she can sing. So talented. That girl can sing.
mm,
Love Pink. Love Pink. And I'm actually glad that you put her on your list. Cause I was like, okay, he's got her on the list, so I don't have to put her on mine. But yeah, Pink is. Yeah, I got a chance to see her. She's so good.
yeah. So there we have our favorite artists of all time. Now, before we wrap things up, we talked about everything. You're a singer, songwriter,
Yes.
A&R executive, and founder of a band that crossed over genres and
Hmm.
done everything. Now that you have gotten your accolades, what would you like to be remembered as?
Um, one that that our music touched people and that it made people feel something, whether it be happiness or sadness or it make them think introspectively. There's always a light at the end of the tunnel. There's always some kind of positive message in our songs that we like to convey. I hope that people will say, their music really like had a positive impact on them, and that our music really like made them feel like hopeful and joyful. Also, that our music, that maybe down the line when they listen to it later on, that and they share it with their family or their friends, they will say, "I like this song because if you listen to it, you can tell that they put their heart into this song. That this song, not only you could tell it meant something to us, but that it would mean something to other people as well."
All right. What a way to close it out. Well, Nikki Heath, thank you so much for being here on the Black Soul Music Experience podcast. It's a pleasure to have you back and for the first time seeing you face to
I
face
know.
for the very first time. It's been a pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much. Continued success on with the band and everything that you do while you're not performing. And hopefully I'll get a chance to see some of your music on YouTube and iTunes
Yeah,
very
and we're on
soon.
iTunes, Spotify, Apple Music. You can find us everywhere under Beyond Destiny, and go follow us. Go check out our music, and be looking out for our new album that's coming out too this summer. So we're pretty excited. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Okay. Download all of the singers that have crossed all genres that we have talked about on this edition of the Black Soul Music Experience podcast. Visit iTunes.com, Spotify.com, or purchase a CD at Amazon.com. Make sure you follow Nikki Heath and her band Beyond Destiny. Check out their website at officialbeyonddestiny.com. Follow them on Instagram at Instra Music Instra. I'm gonna get this right.
Well,
Instra Music Solutions
well,
and also Official Beyond Destiny because I'm
Instagram.
following you on Instagram
Yeah,
as
yeah,
well.
yeah. Official Beyond Destiny. Good.
Yes, and look for them on Linktree at
Yes.
Linktree Beyond Destiny, and check out all their music videos available right now on YouTube. Just go to youtube.com/ Nikki Heath Music. And ladies and gentlemen, if you want to check out my podcast, please visit my website at the Black Soul Music Experience Podcast.com. And if you want to check out this episode, please subscribe to the Black Soul Music Experience Podcast. Look for me on these 5 platforms. I'm on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, and Pocket Cast. And the link is riverside.fm/studio/Samuel Wilson Jr.'s. Don't forget to add the S at the end, studio. And I will be posting this episode on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. And if you have a hard time getting on to riverside.fm, then please become a member and subscribe to patreon.com/the Black Soul Music Experience Podcast number 6. Make sure you have your email address and your password. Go to the Patreon homepage where you see all of the Patreon shows done by different creators. And make sure you go to the search box and type in the Black Soul Music Experience Podcast 6, number 6, where you can check out all of my audio and video podcast episodes and video podcast clips that you may have missed. And if you have a hard time getting on to Patreon, then I'll be posting this episode on YouTube. Please visit my YouTube channel. Go to youtube.com/the Black Soul Music Experience. If you like this episode, if you love my podcast, please subscribe, please support, please give me a thumbs up, please leave a comment, and please pass it on. Thank you for joining me as I close out this edition of the Black Soul Music Experience. Well, that's about it for this edition of the Black Soul Music Experience podcast. I'm Sam Wilson Jr. Thank you for joining me, and please tune in next week for an all-new episode. The Black Soul Music Experience podcast is sponsored by the support of listeners and viewers like you. If you enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe to the Black Soul Music Experience podcast. Look for my podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, and Pocket Cast. And don't forget the link. The link is riverside.fm/studio/Samuel-Wilson Jr.'s-studio. And don't forget to check out my audio and video podcast episodes by becoming a member and subscribe to patreon.com/the Black Soul Music Experience podcast. And please check out my video podcast episodes by subscribing to youtube.com/the Black Soul Music Experience podcast. And please leave your comments, feedbacks, and replies by going to my Facebook homepage. Go to facebook.com/the Black Soul Music Experience podcast. You can also tweet me on X, aka Twitter, at Sam Wilson Jr. 66, and follow me on Instagram at SAMM.Y2980. As always, partying, remember this: reach for the top and your dreams will come true, and it can happen to you. From all of us, take care. God bless. Thanks for listening. Have a good week, and please be safe.